Okay, this is from October 13th. Do you remember this?
Yeah, of course.
October 7, 2023, it's the second time that God gave me an opportunity to live. The birthday gift is my life and the life of my family. They come to kill, to slaughter. They were very equipped, they knew the area, they understood exactly what they're doing.
Do you remember the feelings you had then?
Of course, I was terrifying. I was completely afraid. I wouldn't say a panic attack, but it was close to it. But I had to guard my family. I had to protect my family.
On October 7th, Israel was invaded by Hamas terrorists. 1,200 people were killed and 250 kidnapped into Gaza. CBN Israel initially met David Gabai a few days later in Elad, along with the rest of the residents of kibbutz Re'im who were evacuated there.
See in front of me 2 white Toyotas. There was no ways I could get off the road. And then I said to myself, well, I had a good life, but no ways I will be able to get out of this situation. And at the same time, I'm getting information from the 16 communities that are attacked, that we've been attacked, I'm injured, we need help. I'm hearing this in the car, and I have these 26 terrorists coming in front of me. I see their RPGs. When I passed the first one, they realized that I'm in uniform, and the first Toyota was not able to shoot at me, but then the second Toyota opened fire. I was lucky that they didn't shoot any RPG. Even an armored car is problematic.
The terrorists missed Elon, but they were on their way to kill and capture civilians in kibbutz communities in the area. Communities such as Re'im. Here we met Omer Marudi.
A lot of cars was right there on the main road and just seeking shelter on this area. 2 other girls from the party was naked, dead, like outside of the room next to the tree, the burnt tree. It was a horror scene. It's a great battle around here. 48 terrorist bodies taken out of this area. This situation is over only at 2 a.m. night. Around 80 to 100 terrorists inside Re'im. Now the terrorists, when they understand they cannot penetrate from the main gate, they also go from the other side and going from the west and the south, the kibbutz. Right here it was a house, like this house. Until here, like all of this was a house.
Victims fled the all-night rave when Hamas invaded, seeking shelter in nearby Re'im.
I can't even imagine what these kids went through.
It's an incomprehensible thing that went on here.
Here we are, and then there's Gaza border.
Do you think the tank's inside Gaza or?
Inside.
Inside,
Yeah.
because there'd be a wall here, right? So we're hearing tank fire from here in Re'im.
There were so many bodies, you wouldn't believe. My God. I mean, imagine take this community in October 8, put them on buses, they go through the kibbutz, went outside to Eilat, and all those pictures are there.
Terrorists also invaded Nachal Oz, another kibbutz along the Gaza border. This is where we met Dima and Katya.
הנה זה הכביש, שהוא מגיע לצומת שם בקרני, והם הלכו בכביש הזה. תוך כדי שהם הלכו, הם עשו צילומים, עשו סלפי, היו שם עיתונאים מעזה שהם עשו שידור חי, וסיפרו את זה ככה בטלוויזיה. יושב פה מ-6 בבוקר עד 2:30 הגיעו רק צבא, ונתנו לו לעבור כאילו לחדר שלנו.
2:30
בצהריים. כן, 6 שעות הוא היה פה. אתה יודע, הנה, זה אחרי דלת. יש 2 אנשים עם הקלצ'ניקוב, אין לך סיכוי, כאילו...
דם, 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 יש לנו את הכל לקנות, הנה, עד פה נשארו טיפות שם במיטה, הם לא ניקו, אז זה הכל אני אחר כך זורקת. הם השתמשו בגדים שלי בשביל כאילו לסגור את הפצע.
כל העולם באירופה, אפילו הגיע לאפריקה, לאוסטרליה וארצות הברית, לכל המדינות האלה הגיעו בקשה שלנו להתפלל, ואומרת כל העולם מתפלל עבורנו. דם הגיע כאילו ממש כאילו צמוד, אצלו זה היה על יד, כאילו שהוא עמד על יד הדלת, והם לא נגעו בדלת.
We're being eaten away from these stories that are killing us. It's the grief that's ripping us apart. How do you cope with that? Every single person here knows somebody that's had some barbaric actions done to them. You can't fathom it. You can't fathom it. So grief. Don't know. I don't know how we're going to cope with it, but we will.
Israelis from the Gaza envelope and other rocketed cities in the south, such as Sderot and Ashkelon, evacuated to Eilat, putting as much distance as possible between themselves and the threat of death.
It's been already 3 months. Nobody thought they would stay there this long. Here's Passover around the corner, and as I hear from them, and from Sderot, from the municipality there and the organizations that work with there, and the welfare, they said like, you're gonna be there until the end of the year. Imagine living in this huge house with the green grass and open air, and then moving into this tiny hotel room with your entire family. No privacy, no nothing. I mean, you can go crazy. Families falling apart, depression, clinical depression. People are not getting out of their pajamas. You know, they're not capable of taking care of their kids. Some sexual harassments, you know, behavioral aggression.
Slowly, each month is going up and up and up. We are more or less 4,000 at the moment, and 13,500 are not over here. It is very hard because we have to also give services to our residents in Eilat, in the Dead Sea, Jerusalem. For instance, the trauma and resilience, if we had 20, 30 workers daily, now we are over 200. And even that, there's a waiting list. A lot of people need some kind of guidance. Even if it's quiet, or if we say it's safe, they are thinking on the 7th of the 10th and what they saw, hundreds of bodies on the ground. In trauma, the idea is to bring you back straight away. Bring you back in what kind of conditions? Everything is green, nice, comfortable, secured and everything, and you bring someone back, it's better they do it as fast as possible. But if you're in a trauma and you're coming to an area that is still in a fighting zone, it's not the cleverest thing. We don't know what's going to happen. We are waiting. Also, the government has to decide if we're going to stay in the hotels until the end of June. 2 communities have come back already. We hope that 2 communities are going to come back in the next week. That will be 4 communities. And then I think we'll take a long time for the rest to come.
We wish being in kibbutzim, but that's where we live at the moment. And we're happy that we have a place to live, and we're happy that we're safe. I'm happy that the family, each one of them has his own apartment, he's got his own environment, the children inside the house. And that's what brings me a feeling that it was a success in that crazy situation that we are. Major companies, like 150 companies, that we gather them together. And each company, well, every 10 or 15 company took a kibbutz or a moshav. They start to work of how to make sure that this building will be ready. On December 17, each family had their own home that will fit her needs. We make sure that they have a furniture that will adapt their, you know, if they're 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever. So they came to an apartment that they felt were okay.
That's amazing.
And that's called a Re'im model. And since that happened, they took and duplicate this model to other places, and we're helping for all those months. We, as kibbutzim, helping and try to help each kibbutz to finalize and try to find his home till they go to return back. And this is another story.
they afraid to come back to the city. The fear is the terrorist, because not every day the rocket explodes near you. But terrorist is something, this is the picture from media and people afraid.
That's your window?
Yeah.
And that looks like a hit right above it.
Wow, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what. I'm recognizing just now. Wow. Praise God. It out.
How do you come back to this? Do you?
Yes. Listen, it's hard for our children. They say we don't like to come back to City of Sderot. Even we don't like to live in Israel anymore. This is what they say. But we pray that God will take the feelings from them.
המון אנשים עכשיו סובלים. המון אנשים איבדו את המשפחה שלהם, וגם מאבדים. המון אנשים לא ישנים בלילות כי היקרים שלהם בעזה. אנחנו כולם עברנו את זה ולא עברנו את זה. זה תהליך שהתחיל ולא נגמר. כל בוקר, כל יום. מה יהיה? אני רוצה לשם, אבל אני מפחד. יש להם בית או אין להם בית. הם בנו את הבית, אבל הם לא יודעים אם הם רוצים לחזור לשם. הם מפחדים לחזור לשם.
During a war or during a very stressful event, people do not reach out for therapy. They are very busy with survival. They are very busy at the moment with finding themselves, whether in hotels or looking for a job or taking care of the kids. So people will not now turn for therapy. What we know from our experience is that after the event, we have a tsunami of people who want therapy.
Trauma takes time to surface. 6 months later, you definitely see it. It affected everyone, all the children, younger children who usually don't get therapy. Under 6, people started calling. 9-year-old son asked me about, he heard on the news about what hostages went through. He started asking, how do people hurt other people that way? It's just hard to cope with everything. Like getting up in the morning, your father's not there. Your neighbor got killed. I've seen how therapy can help to really change a perspective of a child and a parent. It helps them to deal with this crazy situation we're in.
In May 2024, a community center that serves the elderly in the Gaza envelope reopened its doors, which gave people hope for returning to their homes.
Everyone is here part of the situation. We cannot say that there is someone that is outside of it because all the community is in trauma. It's difficult. We've been through something very terrible, but we are here. We are continuing to be here. This is our home. Lighthouse is one way to see that. Another way to see that is being the connection to home, the smell of home, and being able to meet with them, talk with them, hug with them. This is our way to show them that they can come back, can feel safe to come back. A process that they start the connection back with their home. And we are part of that because there's no one else that does that in this area for now. And step by step, we are finding the way, the appropriate way for every one of us, for each one of us, how to be in touch with home, how to come back home.
Now, 1 year later, seeds of hope and restoration are being planted for the future.
We're so moved to be able to hear your story, how you're dealing with it as a community. It's just such an inspiration to all of us, to everyone. So CBN would like to cover the costs of this rebuilding, including the store, the grocery store. And it's just a privilege to be able to contribute in a very small way to everything you're doing here. If we can even in just some way be a part of that and come alongside you, it's a blessing to us.
Appreciate it, definitely. And I think we're speechless.
I did not expect this.
Yeah, I never told her that. Thank you so much. And this is I think Nirim will give hope to the world. All this area will give hope to the world, and we'll be able to rebuild and to come back only because friends like you that want that to happen.
אני שמחה שאני יכולה להיות חלק מהתוכניות שלו. לחזור ולבנות חיים מחדש, עם התקווה. להביא את החיים שלו ואור שלו לעם שלו. אנחנו באים ומשפצים את הבית, וזה יהיה בית תקווה בנגב. יש קיבוץ שכמעט נהרס לגמרי, שאנשים יחזרו לשם, וזה יהיה עוד אור, וזה יהיה מקום שאנשים ישמחו והמשיכו את החיים שלהם.
Imagine this place like a Silicon Valley, okay, in a way. It can be farming, kind of smart, agro-tech way of living. If you ask me what the Christian can do for us, it's maybe to explain those people in Gaza that it has to start from kindergartens. I really hope that our neighbors from West will hook to us and duplicate what we're doing so they can live good. We want them to understand that they can live differently, and it has to start from education. We need to take this crazy opportunity that we had and to make sure that it goes to a different direction. This region needs to be different as far as vision, and we can do so much stuff. I mean, there's so many smart people here in Israel and also in the world, and we need to work together and show the world, okay, that after a Holocaust like that, like we build our country, okay, we can build the region, and that will give hope to the world.